Well, the Golden State Warriors are back in the playoffs. Third time's the charm. Well, hopefully, at least. We've made the playoffs in each of the first 3 seasons now of the series, making it in as the second seed this year. And we're certainly hoping that this postseason run is nothing like the last couple of seasons as we're set to face off against the winner of the Memphis and New Orleans play-in game. So we've had some really strong regular seasons in this series, but that success has not translated into the playoffs. We got swept in year 1 in the first round by OKC, and we lost in 5 last year to Minnesota. I think this is the team to change the narrative, though. We're playing really well since the All-Star break, 20-5 since the break, with a point differential of nearly plus 10 in that span. I think the decision to go out and get Brandon Ingram and Onyeka Okongwu at the deadline has proven to be a good one. We've been arguably the best team in the NBA since the All-Star break, and all things considered, we're coming into the playoffs pretty healthy. Onyeka Okongwu is a little bit banged up, but otherwise, the rest of the roster is fully healthy, which is the biggest positive we can get going into this postseason series against either, again, Memphis or New Orleans, who will battle it out for the 7th seed. So what will make this year's team different as opposed to the last 2 seasons where our playoff runs did not go well at all? Because you can easily make the argument that our core just happens to be older. Steph Curry's 39, Jimmy Butler is 37. Both of those guys are planning to retire at the end of the year, meaning that this is the final ride for them. But I think the addition of Ingram and the improvements to guys like Jonathan Kuminga and Antoine Salisu, along with the impact that the 2 rookies have brought, is really going to be the surrounding cast that Steph and Jimmy are going to need, again, especially considering we're fully healthy. As we look at what getting Brandon Ingram has done, it has given us another shot maker, and the hope is that it's going to be too much for the defense to handle 3 or 4 really good shot creators on the floor at any given time. So Curry, Butler, Ingram, Kuminga, and Bono will be the starting lineup going into the postseason. Salisu and Okongwu will lead the bench, and then the 3 young guys are going to get a little bit of playing time here and there. I could see their roles in the postseason going up if the older guys are slowing down a little bit, but it kind of depends on other circumstances. All right, Memphis and New Orleans. The winner of this game will be our first-round matchup and clinch the 7th seed. Memphis dominated early, but New Orleans would spark a comeback after being down 12 in the first. Looks like a really close game, but the Pelicans are starting to run away with it, and it will be New Orleans, our first-round opponent. A lot of really fun storylines in this game, specifically the fact that they were the ones who we made the big deal with at the trade deadline with Brandon Ingram and Ayo Dosunmu swapping teams. In this game here against the Grizzlies, again, New Orleans was down by 12 at the end of the first quarter. Miko Kapanen had 25, Bane had 24, but Ja Morant shot 2 for 10. We're not even going to call him that. We're going to call him Demetrius because of how horrible he played offensively. He did have 10 assists, but you cannot be shooting 2 for 10 in a essentially de facto playoff game. As for New Orleans, it was a team effort. DeJounte Murray and Zion Williamson led the way with 19 apiece. They had 8 players in the double figures. Ayo Dosunmu had 9 in just 15 minutes. But he did get injured in this game, and we'll talk about that impending storyline as we go over the Pelicans roster in just a moment. But first, let's go through the rest of the play-in tournament. And the Eastern Conference play-in is actually very relevant for us, specifically involving the Chicago Bulls. Because as you guys know, we have the Bulls lottery-protected first-rounder in this year's draft. So we're about to find out right now if that pick is going to convey. If the Bulls make the playoffs, we will get their pick. But it honestly might be for the better if we don't get their pick this year, because it would be unprotected next year, and I think that could be a really valuable asset for us. And as you can see, the Bulls do not get in, so we will not get their pick this year. In the West, the Grizzlies end up with the 8th seed. They beat the Lakers. And then out East, Boston over the Knicks, and then the Heat win both games. So the Bulls never really stood a chance. The Heat end up winning this game by 1. And with that, this will be the final game in Kevin Durant's career. A play-in loss. They didn't even make it into the playoffs. LeBron's career last year also ended in the play-in. So LeBron and KD will not get one final playoff run, unlike Steph Curry, who's getting it right now. Speaking of Boston, they are the 7th seed. They've lost in the play-in 2 years in a row and have moved up into the top 2 at the draft lottery both seasons. So thank God that will not be happening again. Anyway, let's take a look at the New Orleans Pelicans, our first round matchup. They ended up finishing technically as the 8th seed in the Western Conference, but 5th in point differential in the conference, 8th overall, so they could be a little bit better than their record. We played against them 4 times this year, but they were all in the first half of the year. In the first week of the season, we won by 17. Brandon Ingram fittingly led New Orleans in scoring. Obviously, he's on the other side now. 27 for Steph, 25 for Kuminga in the win. But again, that was the first week of the year. The Pelicans then beat us a couple weeks later with 33 from B.I. on really good splits, 11 of 16 from the field. Curry with 27 and Jimmy with 20 despite the loss. Then we played against them in the in-season tournament, and this is a game that we actually played in an episode. Winning by 1 was a really fun matchup. Brandon Ingram at 35, albeit on 37 shots, including missing the game winner. Curry had 27, Kuminga had 25. And then the final time that we played against the Pelicans was back in December. We won in a defensive battle, 103-87, with 37-6 from Jimmy Butler leading the way. Their leading scorers only had 12, with everybody shooting the ball horribly. 5 of 13 from Garland, 4 of 14 from DeJounte, 2 of 12 from Zion. So we went 3-1 against them this year. Granted, all 4 of those games were before Christmas. It is kind of funny that the one guy for their team who consistently played well is now on our team with Brandon Ingram. So it's like we stole their main weapon, if you will. But I think this is still going to be a tough matchup nonetheless. They are quite good for a number 7th seed. They've got a really intriguing fit of players. They've got a couple of guys who really specialize offensively and a couple of guys who really specialize on the defensive end of the floor. Everything starts and ends, though, with Zion Williamson, and his future in New Orleans is somewhat in question. We talked about trading for him at the deadline. It would have costed Jonathan Kuminga and probably multiple first-round picks. I did not think that was worth it. Of course, they have Darius Garland as well. The pick and roll with Garland and Zion is very valuable, but both of those guys, as good as they are on offense, are equally bad defensively. DeJounte Murray's a good defender, though. Herb Jones is fantastic on the perimeter. Trey Murphy's a good 3-and-D guy, and I like what they've got in terms of their big depth, with guys like Walker Kessler, Jamar Fofana, Yves Missi. Ayo Dosunmu, meanwhile, has not really had a big role for them since the deadline, despite the fact that he's played quite well. And then again, he got injured in that game against Memphis. It is a sore right knee. He will be day-to-day, but even when he comes back, I'm not sure if he's going to consistently play more than 15 minutes a night. So I think the question for the Pelicans offensively, will they be able to use Zion to the best of his ability? I'm not sure if we have anybody on this roster who's really going to be able to match up with him defensively. And then will their defense be able to guard all of our shot makers? And I think this could be a bad matchup for them defensively because even though they have guys like Herb Jones and DeJounte Murray and Trey Murphy who can guard our best shot makers like Curry, Salis, and Kuminga, we have so many guys who can shoot off the dribble, who can play make for others, and when they even have just 1 or 2 weak links defensively on the floor, those guys on offense are going to be able to make plays. They had the 3rd highest scoring offense and the 8th highest scoring defense, so they put up a lot of points. 2nd in terms of field goal percentage, number 1 in terms of 3-point percentage. We're in 2nd for what it's worth, so I would expect both teams to really shoot it well. They're 9th in terms of turnovers offensively, so they're not overly careful with the ball. And then defensively, their opponent field goal percentage allowed is towards the middle. But again, I think we present a bad matchup for them because most teams do not have the amount of high-level shot creators on the floor at any given moment that we will. So hopefully we're able to exploit that a little bit and perform well here against New Orleans. But above all else, above the matchups, above the analytics, it's really about performing well under the bright lights in the postseason, and we have not been able to do that in the first 2 seasons of this series. 1-8 in playoff games, and we're looking to change that as Adembona wins the tip and we are underway. Stephen Curry, the 4-time champion, and his final postseason run starts with it. Over to Ingram, flips it back to Curry for 3. It is good! Looking for ring number 5 to cement an all-time career. Zion Williamson on the drive. He's blocked. The raging Bona comes in with the denial on the other end. Ingram with it on the drive. Layup is good over Trey Murphy. Brandon Ingram's first game against his former team is in the playoffs. How crazy is that? Curry has it stripped away and stolen. Murray got a hand on it first. Garland ends up with it in transition. Garland back out to Murray, throws it up off the glass, and it's good. The best offense is good defense, and that'll make it 5-2. Butler on the drive in the corner. Kuminga open three. That one will rattle in. Butler had a step on the defender, DeJounte Murray, so they had to send help, leaving Kuminga wide open in the corner. That'll make it 8-2. Butler with it in the corner, gets it over to Ingram. Back out Curry, looking for the screen from Kuminga. Curry lets it fly again. What a start for Golden State. 2 minutes into the game, it's 11-2. Zion no good. Kuminga with the rebound. This could get ugly fast. Butler inside for Adembona, who's there with the slam. It is now 13-2. What a statement early in this game by the Golden State Warriors. Zion posts up on Kuminga. That one is good. They need to get Zion active down low on the glass because we don't have anybody on this roster who can compete with his combination of strength and speed. Floats that one in. There you go. Right back to Zion. He needs to be the go-to guy. Kuminga's had a really good season defensively, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to match up with Zion. There's Brandon Ingram in for the throwdown. He's got 4 early points, and it's 15-8. Zion on the drive, smokes the layup. He really didn't have that hand in his face. I'm not sure how he missed it. In transition, Butler's three, no good. Bona somehow grabs the rebound. And look at this matchup. We've got Adembona guarded by Darius Garland. Bona gets the double, and it doesn't matter. He's in for the layup. It's now 17-8. Garland with it inside for the big man, Walker Kessler. That one is no good. The Pelicans are really struggling in the paint so far. Pull-up jumper on the other end will fall for Jonathan Kuminga. And that'll now make it 19-8. Make it 21-8. What a dominant opening few minutes from the ones as DeJounte Murray sinks the triple. New Orleans has just got to get on a run. Cut into this lead. Try not to do too much now. There's still plenty of time. Off the miss. Okongwu no good. Gets another rebound and the putback. Onyeka Okongwu hobbling around. Still a bit banged up from the hip, but he has recovered at a really good pace. Murray, sidestep three. That one is good over Stephen Curry. That'll make it 25-14. Murray, pull-up jumper is good, and it seems like the Pelicans have something going right now with DeJounte Murray, who has scored their last 8 points. 9-point lead. Ingram on the drive, floats it in for the layup. Ingram's been very effective driving to the basket so far today. He's got 6, and it's an 11-point lead with 2 to go in the first. Here's the screen. Murray inside. Walker Kessler off the pick and roll. Makes the layup. 9-point game. Curry sends it over to Jonathan Kuminga. Hands it off for Onyeka Okongwu. On the drive, Okongwu. Layup is good. Our bigs have been unbelievable so far in this game. We have dominated down low. Okongwu and Bona have been fantastic. Murray is blocked by guess who? Onyeka Okongwu with the denial. Following inbound, they would not score. Murray misses the jumper. Loggins-Burrell out to Brandon Ingram with the reverse slam. He's got 8, and it's 31-18. Less than a minute to go in the quarter. Garland on the drive. Cannot lob it up for Yves Missi. Pelicans hold on, though. The rookie Jamar Fofana. Here is Murray. Tightly guarded by Salis. The layup is good. DeJounte Murray continuing to be the only consistent source of offense for the Pelicans as it's an 11-point game. Here is Herbert Jones for 3. Herb Jones has been a great perimeter defender since he entered the league, but now adding a consistent three-point shot, he has become one of the most valuable role players in the NBA as Brandon Ingram is in for the and one. Darius Garland called for the foul. Ingram takes advantage of the mismatch. He's already in the double figures against his former team as he does miss the free throw. Pelicans will get the last shot. Fofana brings it up over to DeJounte Murray. Step back. Good look for 3. No good. And that'll wrap up the first quarter as Salis gets it there, but it's off the front of the rim. Really, really good start for us. We're playing well on both ends of the floor. We're shooting it well. The ball movement's been good. Defensively, we've been really solid. The play at the bigs has been unbelievable for us as Springer is blocked by Fofana. Another chance here by the Warriors, and that one goes in for Roman Loggins-Burrell. But going back to what our two centers have provided us, Bona and Okongwu have 6 points each. They've also combined for 7 rebounds and have a block each. As Garland hits the 3, 8-point game. Salis, he wants one right back. What goes around comes around. Step back three for the Frenchman will fall as he does miss the floater there. Rebound is tipped into the hands of Trey Jones. Garland in the corner. Jordan Hawkins for three. That one is good. And the lead is within 8 as the Warriors call time. And ever since that opening first couple of minutes where we went by 11, the Pelicans have played a lot better since then to keep this a game rather than turn it into a blowout. But look at this matchup. Butler and Yves Missi. Missi stays with him the entire time. That was great defense, but Jimmy Butler is able to get that one in. 10-point game. Curry's back in for Golden State. Started with 2 quick threes. Has been quiet since as he does a little shake and bake with the shimmy at the end as he makes the layup over Garland. DeJounte Murray, jumper no good. Nice defense by the rookie, Kajai Stokes. Here comes the Warriors. Bona on the drive. Layup is good. Completely uncontested. Adem Bona now with 8 points on a perfect 4 of 4 from the field. 14-point game. DeJounte Murray is doubled. He gets it over to Garland. Pump fake. Garland's doubled. He's going to have to launch up a prayer. And it is no good, but Yves Missi jumps over Adem Bona. What in the world? It's like Bona knew this was going to happen, so he ducks out of the way and lets Yves Missi fully leapfrog him. I don't think I've seen anything like that. 12-point game. Stokes on the drive. Dishes it in the corner for Curry. Out to Kuminga. Deep three is good over the extended arm of Trey Murphy. 15-point Warrior lead. Murray in isolation with Stokes, one of our better perimeter defenders, as he gets it over to Trey Murphy for 3. And Trey hits the tray. 10-point game once again. Here is Curry with it. Looking for somebody to get open off the screen. Problem is it's Adem Bona. Bona on the drive. Layup. Count it. And the foul. And 1. Flex on him, kiddo. Bona nearing a double-double. He's got 10 and 9 as he did unfortunately miss the 3 throw. DeJounte Murray with it, guarded by Ingram. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. He's going to have to shoot it. Murray, pull up, fadeaway, jumper will fall. Nice shot by DeJounte Murray as the Warriors will call a timeout. 8-point game. Curry with it on the drive. Garland was slow to react. They need to send help, and Jonathan Kuminga is wide open in the corner. He hits the 3 and now is 11. 9-point game. Curry with it, looking to drive. Curry inside, throws it up and in! And 1 for Stephen Curry. Garland called for the foul. He does not like it. 12-point game now with around 30 seconds left in the half. Look at this matchup. Isolation. Barbecue chicken. Zion heard that and probably just got hungry. 14-point game now. Zion brings it up. Looking for the screen for Murphy. Kuminga tightly guards him, pokes away, and steals it. Kuminga on the drive, lobs it up. Showtime! Brandon Ingram with the slam. A masterclass by Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Ingram. It's a 16-point game. Zion's going to throw it up from 3. It is off the mark, and that'll wrap up the first half. A big 16-point lead here for the Golden State Warriors. We're playing some great basketball right now. The offense has been fantastic. We're shooting the ball well. Everybody's getting involved. Curry, Brandon Ingram, Jonathan Kuminga, and Adem Bona are all in the double figures. But I think the biggest story is on the other end of the floor. Our defense has been suffocating for them. DeJounte Murray's been good. He has 14 points, albeit on 13 shots. But nobody else on their roster is more than 6. Their 2 best and most important players, Zion Williamson and Darius Garland, have not shown up. Zion has 6 on 3 of 11 shooting. Garland has 5 on 1 of 8 shooting. When your 2 best players are 4 for 19, things are not going to go your way. Into the second half now. Bona posts up on Murphy in the corner. Curry, 3-ball. That one is good. Stephen Curry connects on the triple. 18-point lead. New Orleans has got to get Zion playing well. He has been abysmal in the first half as he gets that one over Jonathan Kuminga. He needs to play to his strengths. He needs to play more bully ball. He is stronger than anybody on our roster. 16-point game. Garland tries to lob it up for the big man Walker Kessler, but he sends it into incoming traffic off the mark. On the other end, it's stripped away and stolen by DeJounte Murray, who gets it out at the hands of Adem Bona. Here comes New Orleans with it now. Darius Garland, guarded by Curry. Pull-up 3 is good. Garland went just 1 of 5 from beyond the arc in the first half. He's got to get things going as it's a 13-point lead. In the corner, Jimmy Butler, mid-ranger on the move. That one is good. Butler has only got 4, but he's not playing a bad game per se. The Pelicans have put some of their better defenders on him. He just hasn't really shot the ball a lot. Kuminga strips it away from DeJounte Murray. Gonna look to take it himself. Layup is off the mark. Unable to make the play there. We nearly stole it again. New Orleans has got to do a better job of holding on to the ball here. Zion sends it over to Darius Garland. Pull up deep 3 is good. Garland already looks a lot better here in the third quarter. He's got back-to-back threes over the last couple of minutes. 12-point game, Butler with it in the corner. Matched up with Zion Williamson on the drive. Butler, layup is good. And it is a 14-point game. Zion backs down on Butler and is no good. Wouldn't be the first time Zion Williamson backs down, but normally he's doing it on a BBL. Butler on the other end in transition. That one is good. 16-point game. Here is Darius Garland with it, looking for the screen from Kessler. Garland, another triple, and he's starting to heat up. Darius Garland playing well here in the third, his third triple at the quarter. 13-point game, Garland again wide open. He's hot. His 4th 3 in just the third quarter. He now has 17 points. He's trying to will his team back into the game. Curry on the drive over to Loggins-Burrell. He's trapped. Going to send it back to the top. Salis, sidestep. Triple is good. Antoine Salis has been quiet. Just his second made shot of the game. As he will look for the screen from Okongwu. Fade away 3 ball will fall. Antoine Salis hasn't really shot the ball well in this game, but all of his makes are these really hard threes. Sidesteps, step backs, on the run. He's making some really difficult shots, but he's missing the easy ones as Kuminga is tackled down by Zion Williamson. How is that not a flagrant? Getting tackled by anybody is one thing, but when it's Zion, who's built like a nose tackle, it's a little different. As there's Ingram with the block. You know, if that was Patrick Mahomes instead of Jonathan Kuminga, Roger Goodell would have called for the National Guard. Yet here, it's just a regular shooting foul. Kuminga has it stripped away by Zion, unable to get revenge. On the other end, pull-up jumper is good. It rattles in for DeJounte Murray, and the lead is back within a dozen. Golden State calls timeout. Here's Stokes, hands it off for Antoine Salis. Thought about the shot, won't take. Instead, he gets it over to Jabari Springer. Layup is good in his first career playoff game. Of course, his father, a playoff riser, if you will, as Springer's matched up with Garland. Can we get that matchup again? Stokes gets the screen from Onyeka Okongwu. He's just going to pull up from deep, and it's good. With him being matched up on Zion, I think he should have tried to look to drive inside, but hey, we'll take it. Not a great play design, but we made the shot. 17-point game. There is Zion with the slam as he's able to get by Jabari Springer. 15-point game. It's Brandon Ingram who brings it up, and he is intercepted by Jordan Hawkins. Here comes New Orleans. Hawkins over to Herb Jones. Reverse layup is good. Lead within 13. Again, the best offense is good defense. Warriors with it now. Springer, bounce pass over to Salis. On the drive, open lane, sends it home on the reverse. As it's a 15-point game, making a 13-point lead. Shot clock unplugged. Golden State will likely hold unless they get a good look. It is in the hands of Antoine Salis. He's matched up with Jordan Hawkins, not one of their better defenders on the floor. 5 seconds to go now. Inside, ball is poked up, stolen by Jones. He's going to heave it up from half court, and it is no good as it rattles out. 86-73 going into the fourth. We're in a good spot. We've just got to hold on, play sound and efficient basketball the next 10 minutes, and we should be good. Jamar Fofana, the rookie, is in for the layup. Gets the scoring started for the Pelicans. Trey Murphy trapped in the corner. Jimmy Butler daps his teammate up on the bench as Herb Jones is in with the slam. You know, if it wasn't 5-on-4, maybe that play wouldn't have been so easy for them. But Jimmy had better things to do. How will he make up for it here on offense? He passes it out to Curry. Step back. Money. 21-8 for Wardell. The bench is loving what they're seeing. 90-77. Trey Murphy with it now. Guarded tightly. Murphy looks for some space. Goes for the three, and it's good. Jonathan Kuminga, his first step was a little bit late there, and that's all Murphy needs to get some space and make the shot. Murray now for three. That one is good. Look at the score. The Pelicans, who were down by 13 earlier in the game and as many as 17, have brought it to 7. We've got to get a bucket here. Don't let them add to the momentum as Ingram slides in and is there with the layup. Brandon Ingram is just so savvy driving to the basket. Knows what the defense is doing, so He goes the other way, gives them a move they're not expecting. But DeJounte Murray, payback. He hits the mid-range jumper. 7-point game again. Okongwu inside. Brandon Ingram is blocked! Walker Kessler with the denial. What a play by the big man off the inbound. Salis over to Curry. Quick ball movement. Kuminga slings it out. Curry, 3-ball is good! Big shot for Stephen Curry. 10-point game. Here is Walker Kessler with it. Gets by Salis. Layup, counted, and a foul. Salis was hoping to draw the charge, but Kessler's able to get by him, and Salis playing defense. Well, he probably shouldn't have. Kessler would miss the 3-throw, however, but Garland hits the jumper on the other end. We're now within 6. Closest this has been since the first quarter. Kessler no good. Bona with the rebound, his 10th. That is a double-double. Here comes Golden State. Jimmy Butler with it on the drive. Gets by Jones. Mama! There goes that man! Jimmy Butler at 37 years old. The old man has still got a little speed left in the tank. 10-point game. Garland on the drive. He is blocked by Bona. Kuminga with the rebound, his 10th. He's got a double-double. Curry with it, under 5 to go. On the drive. Layup is good with the foul. And one. That's Zion, his 4th, as it's an 11-point game. Curry passes it out to Salis. That looked like a shot at first. Matched up with Garland. Curry on the drive. Throws it up, and that is a foul on Garland, his 5th. Steph Curry is attacking the paint right now. New Orleans has not been able to stop him inside. He has been automatic, especially with Garland at 5 fouls, Zion at 4. DeJounte Murray hits the 3, but it's an illegal screen on Walker Kessler. Right now, New Orleans is just shooting themselves in the foot. We're going to keep tacking inside because Darius Garland has to play defense without fouling, which basically means Steph Curry is going to be wide open. Hits the floater, now is a game-high 33 points. Garland with it on the drive. His floater is good, trying to will New Orleans back into this game. Zion misses at the line, continuing his disastrous performance in transition. Curry with it. Drives in. Curry, blocked at the rim by Zion. Right into the hands of Adem Bona, though. He makes the layup, and it is a 14-point lead with under 3 to go. Not looking good here for the Pelicans. Garland with it on the right wing. Drives inside. That one will rattle in a shooter's bounce. I give Darius Garland credit. He's had a really nice second half, all things considered. Pelicans run the full court press. Nobody's inside to stop Steph. Instead, he passes it out. Bang! Jimmy Butler for 3. 15-point Warrior lead. Pelicans call timeout. They are hanging on for dear life as Garland misses the triple. Bona the rebound, his 12th. Can Golden State ice the game in the next couple of minutes? Curry on the drive. Layup is good. He now has 35 points. You know, he does not look like the oldest guy in the league right now. And sure enough, that's all she wrote. 119-103, your final. The Golden State Warriors have done it. They've won a playoff game. I don't believe it. Now remember, we won game 1 last year against Minnesota, and then we fell off afterwards. So we cannot get comfortable with this win. We've got to keep pedal to the metal. There needs to be a consistent focus for us this entire playoff run. However, this was about as good of a start as you could have asked for. We took a big lead, up by 11 within 2 minutes of this game, and the Pelicans kept it competitive the rest of the way, but our early lead was enough to win this game comfortably. 39 points for the 39-year-old, and he did it on outstanding shooting splits. If this is the type of Steph Curry we're going to get for his final playoff run, then I am excited to see the show. And, you know, if Curry really does have a legendary playoff run and leads us to a title, then that poses the question of what this is going to do for his all-time ranking. Everybody else played really well. Ingram was efficient from 2, especially in the paint. Jimmy Butler, 7 of 10, played a good game. Double-doubles for Kuminga and Bona. We didn't see a lot of the young guys. We didn't necessarily need to because the old heads were all playing really well. But there are going to be some games where the older guys are out there tired and fatigued, and we're going to need those youngsters to step up. 25 for Garland. He had 20 in the second half, albeit on 9 of 24 shooting from the field. 25 for DeJounte. He was probably their best player out there. Zion Williamson was really not good. He had 14 points on 16 shot attempts. Kessler was solid. Murphy hit a couple of threes. But when your best player plays horribly on both ends and your second best player, Darius Garland, has 5 points in the first half, it's going to be hard to win. And ultimately, that's a big reason why the Pelicans really were not able to get into much of a groove offensively. And when you're behind against a team like us, it's hard to play catch-up because, again, we have so many guys who can create for themselves and others offensively. So even if one guy is cold, everybody else can step up and take the load. Pause. Hey, yo. I know Zion would want to do that. But nonetheless, should be a fun game 2. Would love to take a 2-0 series lead and really have the driver's seat going into the 2 games in New Orleans. Same starters on both sides. The Pelicans, though, certainly not hoping for the same start that we got in Game 1 as New Orleans wins the tip, and we are underway. Game 2 of the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Murray sends it over to Garland. Pull-up jumper is good, and New Orleans scores on their opening possession of the game. 39 points for the 39-year-old in Game 1 of this series. What does Steph Curry have in store tonight? Gets things started with a quick 3, and the Golden State Warriors take their first lead of the game. Kuminga sends it over to Curry. Pump fake. Curry's trapped. Kuminga open triple. That one is good. You cannot leave Jonathan Kuminga wide open. Coming off his best year as a three-point shooter, Butler bounces it over to Brandon Ingram. Ingram on the drive. Layup is good. And again, his creativity and his craftiness around the basket, something that New Orleans has not yet had an answer for. 8-3. Garland off the screen. Garland over Butler. That one rattles in. And Darius Garland, who was outstanding in the second half of Game 1 with 20 points, is on the board. Curry with it. Throws it up with his offhand. That one is good. It's a 10-5 lead. New Orleans is going to call time. Another very slow start offensively for the Pelicans. They just have 5 points in nearly 3 minutes of game action. Garland with it. That one is good. They're certainly looking to get him involved early and often as Adem Bona misses the layup on the break. Good defense by Trey Murphy. Here comes the Pelicans. DeJounte Murray has it, and it's stolen by Jimmy Butler. Butler with a dime for Bona. Bona sends it in for Kuminga. He's now doubled. Gets it to Butler. Butler out to Curry, and look at this matchup. Guarded by Walker Kessler. Isolation, barbecue chicken, too easy. As he is in for the layup. Here's Darius Garland with it, matched up with Jimmy Butler. Garland, floater. That one is good. It's a 3-point lead here for Golden State. Our offense really hasn't played all that well so far either. That's why New Orleans is still in the game. As Brandon Ingram hits the jumper, Pelicans call another timeout. Remember, we had, 13 points in the first 2 minutes of Game 1, so it certainly has not been the same start for us. Again, the biggest reason why New Orleans is still in it. Brandon Ingram hits the 3, falling to the ground. They didn't let him land, but nonetheless, he drills the shot, and it's a 6-point game. Garland gets by Curry. You reach, I teach, he says, as he hits the triple. 3-point game once again. Here is Curry with it. Throws it up. That one is good. Counting it a foul. And one for Wardell. He's already in the double figures, picking up right where he left off from Game 1. The Pelicans have had no answers for Steph at all today. Okongwu screen. Kuminga 3. That one is good. Jonathan Kuminga's second triple of the first quarter as Murray is off the mark. Good defense by Onyeka Okongwu. Here comes Golden State. Curry with it, matched up with Garland. Step back 3. He's hot in fuego. Somebody call the fire department because somebody's lighting one in here. Now Golden State is up by 12. Another really bad start for the Pelicans. This one just took a few more minutes to materialize than the last one as Yves Missi is in for the slam. Brandon Ingram is 6'8", but he's also a twig, so he's going to have a hard time guarding the much bigger Yves Missi. Loggins Burrell, wide open 3 is good. Salis draws the double, passes it out to the talented rookie. 13-point game. Herb Jones with it on the drive. Jones inside over to Jamar Fofana. The Pelicans are hoping that their talented rookie can light them a spark because the veterans on this team haven't been able to. Curry, floater, no good. Garland with the rebound. Here comes New Orleans. They will likely get the last shot. Fofana inside, matched up with Brandon Ingram. Fofana, 4 on the clock. That one is off the mark. Ingram with the rebound. Passes it out to Salis, who cannot get a shot off in time. And so that'll wrap up the first quarter. Another really, really good start from Golden State. Currently up 29-18. And much like the last game, the offense is playing well, but the defense right now, that's the story. 3 on the way is good for Antoine Salis. We're looking for him to heat up. He's like the one guy so far who hasn't given us a whole lot offensively. Off the screen, Herb Jones gets one right back. The Pelicans respond to start quarter number 2. 34-21, screen from Fofana. Garland for 3. No good. But Jamar Fofana is there with the putback slam. Fee-fi Fofana. As Butler has it stolen away by Jordan Hawkins. 22 on 22 crime as Garland gets that one over on Mbona, who I thought at first was going to snuff the hell out of that shot. 11-point game. Here is Jonathan Kuminga. Step back over Fofana. What a shot by Jonathan Kuminga. He was smothered, and it doesn't matter. 13-point game. Here is Darius Garland. Screen from Misi. Garland's triple is good. The Pelicans are playing better offensively here in the second quarter, but they haven't been able to make much of a dent on the scoreboard. The 11-point lead is down to 10. Now 7. Here we go. There's a big shot. DeJounte Murray. If the Pelicans can score on this possession, who knows? They can really put themselves back in the game. Garland with it for 3, and it is good. The Pelicans are within 4. We've got ourselves a game once again. Golden State has struggled on offense over the last minute or so. Got to get something here. Jimmy Butler with a long 2. Maybe not the shot we should have taken, but hey, it goes in. Finally, the scoring drought is over. Murphy's 3 is blocked by Bona. The Warriors end up with it. It's Jabari Springer on the break for Adem Bona, who's there with the dunk. 8-point game. Here is Murray with it. Finds the screen. Murray, he is unable to make the lob for Yves Misi, and here comes Golden State. Curry on the drive, doubled, don't matter. He's in for the layup, and now is 15, shushing his own crowd. That seems kind of odd. That one is lost. Garland with the steal. Murray inside for Zion Williamson, who's had another rough first half offensively. We'll see if that one can really get things going for him individually. 10-point game. Look at Zion here. Kuminga's just going to let him shoot. Zion's just going to dribble with it. There's no motion on offense whatsoever. Zion eventually shoots the jumper and he misses it. That might have been the saddest offensive possession I've ever watched. Zion dribbling just to dribble. Nobody getting open and he misses the shot. Adem Bona is there with another slam. Can the Pelicans actually try to run some plays? We're going to let Zion shoot it again here. He goes for the quick fadeaway, and this time it does go in. So that'll make it a 10-point game. Here is Garland with it. Matched up with Curry, 15 points, 6 of 13 shooting so far. Murray inside. That one is good, and it is an 8-point lead. Antoine Selis brings it up with 2 to go in the first half. Hands it off for Brandon Ingram. Ingram gets by Zion, and he is in for the layup. Looked like there was some contact from Walker Kessler, but there is no call. Okongwu in the corner for Antoine Selis. Off the screen, fade away. Tray ball is good for Antoine. 13-point game. Selis continues to only make the challenging shots. Golden State in transition. Selis strikes again, and he knew it. Talking some smack to his own bench. Right as he shot it, the Curry no-looker. Looks like he took some pointers from his teammate. Kessler inside, no good. Gets his own miss. Okongwu went flying as Walker Kessler is there to make the play. 58-44. Ingram out to Curry for 3. That one is good. Ingram could have posted it up on Garland, but when you have Steph Curry wide open like that, it's hard to say no, and I don't blame him. Selis misses inside. New Orleans will likely get the last shot here in the first half. Garland, step back. That one was beyond the arc. It is no good, though. Golden State now looking for one more shot. Curry, Loggins Pearl. That's a good look, but it does not go in. That'll wrap up the first half. If this first half score looks familiar to you, that's because, well, you're probably right. In the first half of Game 1, we were up 60-44. Now we're up 61-44, and much of the same things I was able to say about Game 1 applies here. The offense has been good, but the defense has been unbelievable. Curry leads the way with 18. It's been very balanced otherwise. Garland has 19. He's hooping, but the rest of the Pelicans are really struggling. DeJounte Murray's playing worse. Zion Williamson, a game and a half in, he has been a net negative for the Pelicans up to this point. I mean, he has not been good. He's been inefficient on offense. He's already a negative defensively. Curry on the drive to start the second half, bounces it over to Butler. He's got Kuminga, gets by Zion, and Jonathan Kuminga slams it home. He is the second Warrior in the double figures, joining Steph. 19-point game. Here is Garland off the screen. Garland for 3 over Butler. That one rattles in. Garland now with a team-high 22 points. Garland had a combined 39 points in the second half of Game 1 and the first half here of Game 2. So if you're looking for a Pelicans positive, there it is. DeJounte Murray sinks the triple, 13-point game. Murphy over to Zion Williamson. Zion matched up with Steph. Thought he was going to post up, but you have Trey Murphy wide open. He's one of the best catch-and-shoot guys on the team, so it's sort of hard to argue with that decision. 10-point game. Zion backs down on Kuminga. Hook shot is good. And look at the score. We were up by 17 going into half. The Pelicans have more than cut the lead in half within 2 minutes. A disastrous start to the third quarter for Golden State. They needed that one badly. Big-time shot by Stephen Curry. 11-point game. Zion inside. Smokes the layup. Can't have that. And here comes the Warriors. Brandon Ingram with it, matched up on Murphy. Step-back jumper is good. BI now has 11 and 6, and the lead is right back up to 13. So we were really able to respond well after what was a not-so-good start to the third quarter. There's another three for Darius Garland. He's got like 6 or something at this point. He's nearing a franchise postseason record. Garland, floater. That one falls, and the lead is within 8. Garland with 27. The rest of the roster is just 33. Brandon Ingram with it on the drive, gets it out to Curry. His triple is good, and he's got 24. These two standout point guards are in a showdown right now. DeJounte Murray, fadeaway triple, off the mark. Kuminga with the rebound, and here comes Golden State. Curry, wide open. Why not let it fly? 27 points for each of Stephen Curry and Darius Garland. Inside, the layup is blocked. Jimmy Butler with the denial. Here comes Golden State. Curry sends it over to Jimmy Butler. Butler on the drive. Righty layup is good. And we're right back up by 16 points. It's like that big start of the third quarter just never happened. Garland doubled. Passes tip. Murray keeps it. Back out to Garland. His three no good. But Walker Kessler pokes it back in with the offensive rebound and the putback. 14-point game. Here's Murphy with it. Out to DeJounte Murray. His triple, top of the key. That one rattles in. An 11-point game now for the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram gets it over to Stephen Curry. Curry, ooh, nice move. He's doubled. Ingram open, quick release. Money! Trey Murphy closed out quickly, but it does not matter. DeJounte Murray's shot is off the mark. Bono with the rebound. Here comes the Warriors. Ingram out to Butler. Butler, fadeaway three, on the way, no good. Kuminga, offensive rebound, tips it back in, as it is a 16-point Warrior lead. Garland matched up with Butler. Garland looking for the screen. His three is good. That's his 7th of the game. A franchise record for the Pelicans in terms of made threes in a playoff game. 13-point lead. Salis on the drive. Layup, count it, and a foul. Herb Jones' first step was not enough to combat the speedy Antoine Salis as he has it back. Passes it out to Ingram, out to the rookie Kajai Stokes. Excellent ball movement there by the Warriors. You could tell those guys wanted to shoot it. But with Stokes open, they're going to send it over to the rookie. Walker Kessler with it. He gets it out to Garland. Another three, and he makes another. Darius Garland is on one tonight. And it hasn't mattered. The rest of the team has not showed up. Salis on the drive. Slams it home. Kind of quiet in Game 1, but he has made his mark off the bench here in Game 2. DeJounte Murray's three is no good. Kessler with the board and the putback over Okongwu. 89-73 now. Stokes with the screen. He drives in, tries to lob it up for Kuminga, but there was some miscommunication. Kuminga saw the corner was open, so he wanted to go pick and pop. Stokes thought he was just going to cut to the lane as DeJounte Murray hits the jumper on the other end. 14-point game, under a minute left in the third. Kuminga gets it over to Salis. Pump fake, gets by Zion, and Antoine Salis slams it home again. The interior defense for the Pelicans continues to be a problem, even with Walker Kessler out there. He just has not been good as a rim protector at all through these first two games. Off the dunk by Stokes, it's an 18-point lead. Here is Darius Garland with it with just a few seconds left in the half. Throws it up, and it's good. Somehow, some way. I do not know how he pulled that one off. Salis is going to get a good look here at the buzzer. It is no good. And that will wrap up the third quarter. It is a 16-point lead for the Warriors going into the fourth. We're in a good spot here. I'm going to keep a large amount of the starters in just so we can shut the door. I want no funny business as Trey Murphy hits the quick triple. I wouldn't mind getting the young guys to run, though. Roman Loggins-Burrell, for instance, already in the game. Curry, step back. That one is good. Another 30-piece for Stephen Curry. 17-point game. Herb Jones with it over to Trey Murphy. Murphy's doubled. Back out to Jones. His three will rattle in. And it is a 14-point game now. Here is Curry with it. Looks to get by DeJounte Murray. Curry, pull-up jumper. No good. No, it does fall in. I thought for sure that thing was going to rattle out. A shooter's touch, though, for Steph. 18-point game with 8 to go. Screen by Springer. Curry, again. He had 39 points in the first game, and it looks like he's going to surpass that mark here in Game 2. I mean, he has been completely unguardable for the Pelicans. Murphy inside for Murray. Okongwu wanted to play for the ball, go for the steal, and that did not quite work out at all. Jamar Fofana with it inside for Yves Missi. He's blocked. Onyeka Okongwu with the snuff on the other end. Loggins-Burrell with the jam! The windmill for the rookie, and it is a 21-point lead. This one is getting out of hand quick. Fofana, floater, no good. Springer with the rebound. He gets it over to Stephen Curry. Curry with it, pull-up jumper, and he's got 39 again. Has officially matched his total from the first game, still with 6 minutes to go. I'm not sure he's going to be in for most of these final 6 minutes, though, as Garland misses the three. In transition, Curry, pump fake, midi, he's got 40! 41 to be specific, as it's a 23-point game. 5.5 to go. Ingram, pump fake. Brandon Ingram on the drive. That one is snuffed at the rim by Walker Kessler. Here comes New Orleans. Trey Murphy brings it up slowly. He's got Garland. Garland's got Herb Jones. Jones to Kessler. Back to Garland with now 5 minutes to go. 23-point lead. Garland matched up in isolation with Curry. Spins like a Beyblade. His floater is no good. And Garland is on the floor in pain, clutching at his ankle. 5-on-4 for the Warriors. Curry is wide open. He now has 44. But the more pressing story here is Darius Garland. The one positive for the Pelicans appears to have suffered a major ankle injury. Devastating news for the Pelicans. If they want any chance to come back in this series, they're probably going to need Darius Garland, who has averaged 30 through these first 2 games. When I first saw the injury, I assumed it was a hip, because that's pretty much every injury in this game. But it looks like a severe right ankle sprain. That's a 4 to 6 week recovery time. So barring a surprise, we will not see him the rest of the way. And that was my cue to get the starters out of the game. Let the young guys have some fun! Springer off the lob from Roman Loggins-Burrell. I was going to take the starters out soon anyway, given the lead. But that made it to where, yeah, we don't want to risk an injury here, up by nearly 30 as Kajai Stokes hits the corner triple. It'll be nice to see the young guys get to run around for a little bit, some more playoff experience for these guys, as the lob is unsuccessful for Okongwu, but we get it back. Stokes with the board, Salis with the three, 31-point lead for Golden State now with under 2 minutes to play. What a disastrous game for the Pelicans. Springer catches the lob. Here is Salis with it, looking for Loggins-Burrell! I thought he was about to try to do it through the legs there, but he's unable to make the play. Golden State will get to inbound it. It is Springer with it who will pass it in. He's going to try to lob it up again for Roman, who is unsuccessful. Golden State looking for a couple of highlight plays. We are clip farming here at the end of the game. It does not work. Zion Williamson with it. He will take the final shot, messing up his already putrid field goal percentage as the Golden State Warriors lead this series 2-0. In the first game, we took care of business. We won by 16. In the second game, we won by 28. Unlike the first team, we took this big lead and we ran with it. Steph Curry is a man on a mission. 44 points. And as you can see here, the minutes were a lot more even given that this game was not as close. 44, 6, and 5 on great splits. As Stephen A. Smith once said, he's averaging 40! 41.5 to be specific on 75% true shooting. Even at 39 years old, we're getting a demon. We might be getting the best for last in terms of Steph, who does not make the points list in a playoff game. His career mark is 50. He does tie his own record for second most threes in a playoff game. Klay Thompson, though, still first from the Western Conference Finals in 2016 against Oklahoma City. It wasn't just Curry, though. The rest of the team played well. 23 for Salih, shot the ball well. 14 for Ingram, 12, 7, and 7 for Jonathan Kuminga, doing a little bit of everything. Another efficient game from Butler, and it was good to see the young guys run around, getting some extra playing time, performing well. As for New Orleans, the positive for them was Darius Garland, 35 points, shot the ball well, 7 of 14 from deep, and a potentially series-ending ankle injury. So who's going to step up in his place? DeJounte Murray had 19 on 21 shots. Zion had 12 on 17 shots. His true shooting percentage in both games started with the number 3. His estimated wins added is in the negative. He has been, there you go, a net negative in the postseason for them, and he has to wake up if the Pelicans want any chance of coming back without the one guy who has been consistent for them other than the first half of Game 1. We lead the series 2-0, but we cannot get comfortable. It's nice to see this team finally win some playoff games. More playoff wins today than the first 40-ish episodes of the series combined. But we still got a lot more work to do. 2 wins down, 14 to go. That'll wrap up today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.